The planet Earth is a big place, a huge place, populated by 7.5 billion people. In the United States, there are over 300 million people. And if you live long enough, you may be lucky enough to meet one or two great people. One of those people, Shawn Hill. Shawn was always the guy who knew it all, legitimately knew it all about pop culture. We knew each other mainly from church. We both attended one during our teen years where a shared love of Prince was enough to bring us together outside of the sanctuary. Though his parents' house was only about 5 minutes away by car, it was a perilous journey down a busy road on my 10-speed. So I had to wait until either my mother or his mother agreed to pick one of us up to drop us off so we could spend time together. I was the computer nerd who loved music, and Shawn was the music nerd who loved computers, so it all worked out. Everyone knows Shawn loves Prince, but on many of those days we conspired to listen to Earth, Wind and Fire, Lionel Richie, and to find other more esoteric music left to our own devices. Since these were the days before digital music, we shared tunes by connecting our cassette players via aux cord, and we laughed and compared notes while the music played. One day Shawn said, "Hey, I have something I'll bet you never heard before." As black teens in the early 80s, my music tastes were pretty predictable. I was pretty well versed on R&B, pop, and blues from the 1930s through the 1980s, but anything else was pretty much unknown to me. I didn't listen to any hard rock or country in all those days. Shawn sensed that. It turns out he was correct. I can't tell you what album it was on, but Shawn put on this song called Wiped Out by Kiss. I always thought that band was interesting but weird. The black and white makeup was pretty rad, but I couldn't imagine how that music could speak to me at all at 12 years old. I was transfixed. The guitar line sounded like something Prince would approve of, and the lyrics were sufficiently taboo enough to be of interest to my risk-seeking pre-adolescent brain. I didn't know what it meant to be wiped out, as the song said, and I wouldn't find out for many years hence, but it sounded edgy and salacious and interesting enough for me to imagine just how cool it could be. That experience opened my mind to the possibility that hard rock like Kiss and AC/DC could speak to a kid like me. That realization led me to consider Elvis, Clint Black, Brooks and Dunn. I didn't have to listen to just one genre of music. I could listen to them all. And through that, I could find threads that tied them all to other music and ideas that I loved and wanted to learn more about. To this day, I surprise people with the eclectic range of the music I listen to and love. I can tie all of that back to the day and Shawn telling me, "Hey, I bet you haven't heard this before." He was my friend. He broadened my horizons. He will be missed beyond measure. Those are the words of one of Shawn's close friends, Medgar Roberts. Now, Shawn was also my friend. I met Shawn in the early 80s at football practice when I was in 8th grade. Shawn was a couple years younger than me, but his dad was one of the football coaches. So it just happened, it was a few minutes before practice, and I was off to the side by myself messing around with the football. And Shawn was there, and I think he was messing around like with a tackling dummy or something. And I was like, "Hey, you wanna play some catch?" And he was like, "Sure." So we wound up throwing the ball back and forth for a little while, and I asked him who he was, and he said he was Shawn Hill, and that his dad was one of the coaches. So, all right, cool. And we kind of left it there. And as time would pass, I would see Shawn from time to time. Once again, we weren't in the same grade. I was a couple years older than him. But whenever I saw him, I said, "Hey, what's going on, guy?" And we just keep it moving. But whenever we saw each other, we would always, say hello and things of that nature. And as time passed, we would talk a little bit more. If we had a few moments or whatever, we stop and chat and say, "Hey, what's going on?" and kind of get to know each other through passing conversation. And in one of those passing conversations, now this is in high school, turns out that he is a Prince fan. And of course, I am a Prince fan, huge Prince fan. Sean was a huge Prince fan. So as we talked more and I learned more about his musical tastes and everything, I remember telling him that I had a lot of Prince music that some people may not have heard. And of course, he was very excited to get involved and take a listen to some of the stuff that I had. And it turns out, and I just found this out from him about a week ago, that I actually gave him his first Prince bootleg tape. It was a tape that a friend of mine in Minneapolis had sent to me, and it had some outtakes from some Prince recording sessions, some unreleased music, and some songs that no one had ever heard before. And of course, that blew him away. And that tape was like gold to me. It was like gold. It was one of my prized possessions, and I carried it like everywhere I went, and I listened to it every day. And once again, it was a Prince bootleg, and it was rare. And I did share it with him. That helped his love for Prince, and that strengthened the bond that we had through our love of music. Now, as the years passed, of course, you go your separate ways in life, and I went on, I joined the military and left the area, and Sean went to college and things of that nature. But it just so happens, as fate would have it, we wound up working for the same company some years later. So we became colleagues, and we would see each other from time to time. And of course, we would always talk and catch up, how you doing, things of that nature. And of course, we'd always matriculate the conversation back towards Prince. So whenever there was anything going on, we would communicate with one another and share whatever it was that we needed to share through our love of music, our love of Prince. So as you get to know a person, you get to know more about them than just your common interests. So we would talk a lot and just learning more about him as a person. And of course, we became, pretty close friends, even though we were separated by, a number of miles. I think he was on the West Coast, and of course I was on the East Coast. We always stayed in touch throughout the years, either by phone, email, Facebook, social media, you name it. We always stayed in touch, and we would talk on the phone from time to time, because it turned out that Sean also had another common love with me, and that was the love of movies. So not only did we love music, we loved movies, and also we loved pop culture. So we had a lot to talk about. Those are some huge common interests. So we would always stay in touch with one another. And we would talk about his family, my family, and the things that we aspired to do and be. So you really get to know a person. And I can honestly say, Sean and I really became really, really good and close friends. And we shared things with one another that sometimes, deeply personal things that of course I won't repeat. But you get to know a person, you know the core of a person and the essence of that person, and it draws you closer, just as human beings. So, Sean, he was a good dude. I keep saying that. He was a good dude. And I say that about a lot of people, I suppose. But with him, it really, really rings deeply and truly. He was a really good dude. He was that type of person that he could sense if there was something going on with you. He would just reach out to you and say, hey, what's going on, guy? And just give you some words of encouragement. You ever needed anything, if he could provide it, he would provide it. If he couldn't, he would put you in contact with someone who could. He was just that kind of guy. Just a genuine good guy. He loved his family, loved his daughter, loved his wife, loved his friends, and they loved him. And the fact that he's not with us anymore, physically, does not mean that he's not with us, period. He's still with us. And he won't be forgotten. Dear Sean, our friendship was created by a chance encounter through mutual friends. We shared an associated passion for cinema and music. We just connected, and you had such a contagious smile and such a genuine concern for others. You cared, not just a little, but with every fiber of your being. In the short time I have known you, you were there for me when I wasn't at my best, and always cheered me on to keep pushing forward. The tables turned, and it was I returning those same words of encouragement. I love how much you loved your family. The girls made you so proud, and being beside your best friend, partner in crime, was your ideal place. We all are going to miss the crap out of you. You were always there for us when we needed you, and you always knew the right things to say to make us feel better. Rest easy knowing you leave behind a beautiful legacy. With all my love to Deb and the family he leaves behind, stay strong and know he is always with you. Love, Cassidy. That's Cassidy Early, another one of Sean's friends. So, they say when a person passes on, you should rejoice versus grieve. Rejoice and celebrate their life. So, Sean, I hope I speak for everyone when I say we celebrate your life. We're sad that you're gone, but we celebrate what you left us with. Repeating, you're a good dude, a great dude, and you'll not be forgotten. So, going forward in life, whenever I listen to a Prince song, I'm gonna think of you, Sean. Because outside of myself, there's not a bigger Prince fan in the world. I think everyone feels the exact same way. When they think about you, it's synonymous with Prince. And that's not a bad thing. It's not idol worship. It's not a bad thing at all. Dude had great music. It connected with you. It connects with others. It connected you to so many people in this world. So thank you for being you and giving us the opportunity to know you. Rest in peace, Sean Hill.